Okay, we're going to talk about a few more tools here in the shop. You have jack stands down here, and they are all of them have a different weight range. This is a 3-ton, so that's 6,000 pounds. So if my dually weighed 8,000 pounds, then you probably don't want to use this little jack stand. You're going to want to use one of those bigger ones. Jack stands are for when you jack the vehicle off the ground using a floor jack. You place that underneath the car and then let your jack back down on that, so that way it doesn't come down and hurt you. So that's very, very important to use jack stands. This right here is called a creeper. Automotive technicians may lay on this to slide underneath the vehicle. So that's called a mechanic's creeper. This right here is an air chuck. You put your air hose on here and you fill tires with this. Typically is what you're going to be doing with that. And then your tires take a certain amount of PSI, pounds per square inch. And then you get it, so you need a tire, a PSI tire gauge, which reason PSI, as you see there, okay? So like right here would be 50 pounds. This is a typical air hose, okay? Usually they come right about 50 to 100 foot sections. This is another type of tire gauge. It's a gauge and a tire pressure checker all in one. Sometimes these are kind of nice to have. That way you don't have to have two tools. You just narrow it down to one. Inside of here, I've got something you don't use very often anymore because there's not a whole lot of grease fittings. But this is a grease gun. I prefer battery-powered or air-powered grease gun. But if you don't have a battery-powered, air-powered, make sure you get the trigger kind of like that, not the one that has a handle, because it's harder to do. This right here is called a suction gun. Suck out fluids with this and stuff. It's nice to have and it's relatively inexpensive. This right here is called a bearing packer. You can pack your bearings in there, like wheel bearings and stuff like that. This right here is called a funnel, and this is actually one, usually you're going to use this for transmission fluid. It sticks down to the transmission dipstick tube. There's different size funnels, different shapes funnels, stuff like that. Like this one right here, this is for more, this is what they call a right angle funnel, and this is supposed to be more for brake fluid. Sometimes your master cylinder is up underneath the cowl panel, and it's kind of hard to put it in there, so they designed this funnel to put in there to make that a little easier on you. So those are my couple different types of funnels you will find. Another thing that is a nice tool to have is this right here. And this is called a mechanic's tool cart, and all this is just a roll around cart, and you put your tools in here to go to the job. So let's say, like for example, this is my toolbox, but I got to work on that car way up there. Well, if this was my toolbox, I would put in all my most common tools, and I would wheel this all the way over there, and then I would work on the car without having to make 100 trips back and forth to my toolbox. So that's called a mechanic's creeper. Another thing I forgot to show you over here in the last video, this right here is kind of like a really tall jack stand for underneath the lift. When you have the vehicle up in the air, this can help stabilize your vehicle. This right here is a tire spreader. When you guys come back, we'll do tire work, and I'll show you how to patch and plug tires correctly. This right here is called a transmission jack, and this, when you have the vehicle up in the air, you've got to remove the transmission. This is the tool you're going to want to use. What I wanted to show you real quick up here was this right here. This is an old scan tool. So if you look in the last video, compare that scan tool to this one, and you can tell it's been quite a change in the technology. This right here is called the brakes parts washer. Okay. Of course, there's another MIG welder right here. And when we go into the tool room here, okay, sledgehammer right there. This right here, some people call this a monkey wrench. but it's technically called, it's supposed to be called a pipe wrench, not a monkey wrench, okay? It's called a pipe wrench. All right. This is an electric drill. This is a half drive, so this goes all the way, can take a half drive chuck, no bigger. All right, this right here is an AC machine. Whenever you're doing AC work, you can recover the harmful freon out of your AC system. So this is called an AC machine. So this is for all air conditioned work. These right here is something that's nice to have, and they're made by Vice Grip, and these are chain Vice Grips. What these are made for is, let's say you have a pulley that you need to take off and might have a bolt in the middle. This will hold that pulley, and then you can remove that bolt. These are some you don't use every day, but when you need it, it's awesome to have. This right here is an old set of Freon gauges. If you don't have an AC machine, this is what a lot of people have around their house. This right here is a battery load tester, and the way this works is that you plug your battery into here and you hit the switch on the bottom, and then if you look right here, you sit there and read the little graph here, okay? And it'll tell you if it's good or bad. This will tell you if a battery holds a load, but it will not tell you if your battery has like a dead cell or something like that. You need a digital battery tester for that. The way it works is it has a bunch of resistance in here, a bunch of coil. And when you're holding this thing, and you're holding this thing right here, and you're hitting it right here, it's going to heat that up. So you're actually going to feel some heat off of that. Some people call that an old bread box. This right here is called a valve spring compressor tool. Okay. This compresses valve springs. Valve spring compressor tool. Okay, this is just a 2-jaw puller, Pitman arm puller, technically speaking, and then this right here is a 2-jaw puller. They got 3-jaw and 4-jaw pullers as well. This right here is a neat little tool to have to tell what kind of bolts you have. Okay, so you can't tell, is this standard or metric? I don't know. So you put it up here and you see which hole it fits in here. It says right here 1/4 by 20. So this is a 1/4 inch with a 20 pitch thread. So I know this is a 1/4 by 20 bolt, and it has ones for nuts on there too. It's a kind of a neat little tool. This is kind of the smaller version of that, and you just find the hole this thing fits in, which is 1/4, fits in there nice and tight. So I know this is a 1/4 drive, or this is a 1/4 bolt. We got more examples of some pry bars, a little bit longer here. Some pry bars get very long. I'm sure y'all know this is a level right there. Okay. And here's some more crow's feet that I was showing you earlier. Okay, I think that's going to wrap it up for my tools. Thank you guys for watching the video, and stay tuned, and you can review these videos as much as you want, so that way you can get yourself familiarized with all the different tools in the automotive field. Those are just some basic. There's more, but I think I hit the most important ones. You guys have a good day.